Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil lay inside your box now while the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Serbs. In this place to be, we have a very special episode for y'all. You know, I've been planning on doing this interview for a little minute now. Episode 30. DAZE in the DUñA. What is that? We shall find out this episode. But real quick, you know, over the weekend, yesterday I had to pick up my parents at 1 in the morning from LAX, bruh. I really regret not drinking a Monster to get the fuck over there and pick them up. They went to Costa Rica, bruh. They go to everywhere without me, bruh. That's that shit I don't like. You know what I mean? But whatever, man. They had a fun time over there. They brought some cocoa powder from this like 81-year-old woman or something like that from over there. So I'm really looking forward to making some brownies and showing y'all what it do when it did. I picked them up, and before I did, I went to In-N-Out. LA is such a great place for Pokemon Go, man. They had this, the 9 building, 999s. I don't know what that's for. I don't know if it's a church or something, but I spun the stop. I went to In-N-Out. It was packed at In-N-Out 12 in the morning. I got a 0 sugar lemonade, picked them up. We went to Arco. The gas is still wild as fuck. And then I didn't even go to sleep till like 2 in the morning, bruh. And then I had fucking work yesterday, so I was tired as fuck. You would think I would fall asleep right after I go to work, but that just wasn't the case. I fucking fell asleep like at 11. That's usually my time, like 11:30 is my snooze. Is when my brain hits the snooze button, because I'm a Gemini and my brain is just all over the place. So, how was your guys' weekend? Was it good? Was it not? Why? Did your parents go to Costa Rica? Did they just go to Puerto Rico or something like that? What's going on, man? But, you know, everything is all good over here on this side with Big Serbs. I've been really, you know, like, I ain't gonna long talk y'all about being busy and shit. We have a very special guest. Can anyone guess who our guest is for this episode of the God's Hour? I'm gonna give you 3 guesses. No. All right, you're right. You guessed it right. His name starts with 2 letters and he hails from Indiana. Everybody give it up for the homie NC.
Yo.
Hey, yo.
What's up?
Man, I'm good, man. How you been, bruh?
You know, well, I'm doing my best to stay afloat out here in Indiana. It's been white skies the last 6 days in a row, but you know, besides that, I'm doing pretty good.
That's awesome, man. You are live with the God's Hour podcast, bruh. We are live.
Dog, I'm honored to be on here again. I appreciate the opportunity to come back.
Oh man, no, don't even trip, bro. This is what we're here for. This is what I'm here for, bro. Cause you already know I'm all about bringing. I'm all about bringing the homies on the podcast and just kind of, talking, because I always talk my shit on the podcast. So I kind of wanted to give more light and space and a platform for, the homies, my producers, my people that I fuck with. I'm not just gonna have you on here. I'm gonna have more people on here, but for now, this is the return of NC since the last time. So what's been going on what's been going on with you lately since the last time we spoke?
I'm doing exactly what I said when we ended talking the last one. I'm doing my best to be consistent this year, putting out music. Life's short, man. I've realized that. So I'm just like, I've been sitting on a lot of stuff I've had in the works for a minute. So I'm just like, been putting stuff out. I was starting off doing it every week. Now I'm doing my best to do it every other week. I've been on kind of like a consistent flow, putting stuff out. I think I put out let me pull up real quick how much I put out. I think maybe like 3 or 4 projects, maybe 5. And I'm just doing my best to be consistent and having a good attitude while doing it. I'm doing everything raw. Nothing. Some of it's like, in a better light of like with the mixing and mastering work. But I'm just doing it in the moment and putting it out. That's what I've been on. Just doing my best to put as much music as I can out right now.
So as far as putting music out, do you feel like it's quality over quantity, or do you feel like you're just gonna put out whenever you feel like it type?
So not everything I do comes out. It's definitely curated to the point where I feel like it's most of the best shit. But also do my best to just be consistent. I feel like to my opinion, my liking, yeah, I think a lot of what I've been putting out is pretty quality. Not to put myself on a pedestal, but I definitely think you can do a mix of like both worlds. Like you could still have I don't know, 5 to 10 tracks on something and have them all be pretty good, and then just do another one and keep going. I've just been doing my best to curate it in a way that's been a best of both worlds. The more I think about it.
That's dope, man. So as far as like the last couple projects you've come out with, what would you say is the one that you want listeners to check out? Whatever whatever you think is the best project thus far from like now, from like the last few months.
That's a good question. Honestly, I can't really say one project definitively because there's all of them. There's a bunch of beats that I feel like I put a lot of time into and I like them. But the one track I did called "Drop a Jewel on Ya" was the single to this project I have called "Elevated Ethos." It's part of another like 7-track project. But I would say that one. It means a lot to me. I got some audio clips in there from this folk singer named Jewel. And she was saying some stuff on this podcast that I really spoke to me. And then I did my best to put some like AZ sound bites in there, the rapper AZ from New York. And it really came out in this cool light. Like I like the cover art too. Shout out to Riley Sims again. She did the cover art and I added some extra things in there to kind of put my ideas in there. But I would definitely say that track, that's probably my favorite thing that I would want people to hear.
That's cool. That's really dope. I didn't even I think I heard maybe like a few, like maybe like 1 or 2 times the track.
Yeah.
So like you said the sample was like a folk singer and you have sound bites from AZ. So like how does that correlate into the song, in the album too?
That's a good question. So the podcast I heard when I was at work, and she was just talking about how you have to have like how do I put this in good terms? You could sit there and just be kind of complacent, but then like that's it, like you gotta live to do more than that. That's kind of, when I heard that at work, I mean, that's not what it is word for word, but like, that's what really spoke to me. So I was like, let me throw that in there. And then I had the AZ sound bites. I read this book called Jewels, Gems, and Treasures. That's, I think, like an autobiography by him. My girl got it for me for Christmas this past year. And I've always, like, loved AZ. And I don't know, just the concept of, like, the book's called Jewels, Gems, and Treasures. And then the singer's name was Jewel. So I'm just like, all right, so let me kind of make this idea and curate it in a way where it's like drop a jewel on you. I mean, like, it's probably something that only I would get, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff in there. But, like, that's what I want. That's kind of just how the idea came across. I just thought it was one of those tracks where I'm just like, all right, let me put this out because, I mean, not only does it, I think kind of it's inspiring, but maybe to others, but it definitely inspires me. Like, I play that once a week to get me going when I'm down sometimes.
So would you say that's kind of the nucleus of the Elevated Ethos tape that you put out? Like it's the downtown, if you will? It's like the center?
Honestly, I mean, everyone has their own opinion. There's some other pretty good beats on there, but like I put it as the first track because that's what I want people to hear when they see the cover art, because that's what it meant to me when I made it. When it ended up just started putting the music together and curating it, I'm just like, you know what, this works. And it was actually the last track I put on there. I had a different track as the intro, and I was just like, you know what, I just did Drop a Jewel on You. I made it in like December, and I was like, you know what, let me put that as the intro. That actually makes more sense. But yeah, I got some other stuff coming out this Friday that I think is also going to be really good. So I don't know. We'll see. I got some more stuff coming out, like, but I say as the stuff I have out right now, that's probably what I would really want people to go check out.
That sounds good. And as far as New York MCs, do you feel like you have like a more influenced by like New York rappers or New York producers?
That's a good question. I mean, I have a respect for East and West, and I've just also learned there's more than just East and West too. Like the Midwest is popping. There's other regions in the United States where the beat scene's popping. But I mean, I would definitely say like I'm more rooted probably through a lot of what the East Coast has brought. But like I'm no stranger to what the West has got either. I do my best to learn from other producers out there that like I mean, there's tons of them, like Madlib or like E Swift or people like that also kind of, I mean, they're inspired from East, but they're from the West, and they have like a different kind of quality to it, and just crafted a different way. And I just be learning, trying to learn both. But I'm probably say I'm more rooted in East, probably. I mean, that's a lot of the stuff I heard first, to be honest with you. So I mean, that's what I was firstly inspired by.
Yeah, that's kind of the same with me too. I have influences from all over the place. I really like all forms and all like genres, all regions, more specifically of music. But I would say I'm more influenced by like East Coast, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang,
Yes, sir.
MF Doom.
Classic, man. It's a damn shame.
Oh, his passing?
His whole career was classic, man. Everything about it.
I think Doom was one of the only artists to ever like. He had a whole conceptual career. Like, there's artists that try to aesthetically be on some like mysterioso shit, or they want to be like a thug, or they want to be. I mean, I can't even really say a thug because like if you're from the streets, you're from the streets, so that's kind of like it bleeds into like the art. So that's kind of like more as who you are as a person, but to actually create this persona, stick with it in the music, and just like kind of as an artist live out what you have like in mind and what you want to create. Like that takes. I mean, I don't know what it takes, but like to me, I can't do nothing but respect like Doom. Like to me, he's like a forefather of like a lot of what I do.
Me too, I agree.
And how would you say Doom inspired in you? Like, how do you think Doom inspired you?
Ooh, that dude, that dude changed my life, man. I'll never forget being, man, I was still 15 at the time. It was like April 2016. It was at the end of like my sophomore year, right? High school.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Mad Villain for the first time, and my whole world flipped. Like I know Madlib did the production on there, and I know Doom does his own production as well, just not on that one. But that was like the first thing I heard from them. And like what I was listening to before when I was younger, like what could I say I was in? I was definitely a Drake fan, you know what I mean? Being young, you know, I don't really didn't know what hip hop was until maybe I would have gotten more in high school and I started learning. But that dude changed the whole thing for me, man. I mean, he's the reason I know not just me, a lot of people do their shit, and he's influenced me in a way by like doing just project stuff. Like one line he said, you know, that's this new shit I got coming out on Friday, and he just, I don't know how to put it into words, man. He changed my life. Like I'm very thankful that people like him existed in a world to inspire others to do things in their own way, but like with their own style. It's a damn shame he's not with us anymore. It's hard, but I don't know. It's hard to believe that he's gone. He's the villain, man. The villain lives forever, you know. Like,
Yeah, he became a symbol.
yes, sir.
He's like on some Prince shit, like where his shit'll just live forever. And I feel like Doom, he's just such a special, like if we're talking about like pillars in hip hop, he's definitely like up there. Like he built, like what he did helped build a lot of and influenced a lot of people like West Side Gun, Joey Badass. I know he influenced Capital Steez. Just a lot of dope artists kind of like were influenced by him. Like when they say your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, he's the guy. Like
He's the epitome.
so, you know, I heard the word from a little bird that something's gonna drop soon, and I heard that it was called DAZE in the DUNYA, and
Yes, sir.
I looked up. That's actually from Radon, the Victor Vaughn album, which, you know, a lot of people, they give a lot of light to Doom, but a lot of people, I never really hear the Victor Vaughn or like the other works that he's done. You know, people always say, oh, Mad Villain. People always say,
Yeah.
you know, Doom, but nobody really says Victor Vaughn. So that kind of was surprising that you did. You named the title track after a line that he says, because that's one of my favorite albums too. Because that's the first Vaudeville Villain, right? From the first one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did Doom inspire this beat tape or this project, I should say?
It's a good question. So, you know, I've heard, I will go out on a limb, not even on a limb, I think this is true. Like the Vaudeville Villain album is like my favorite thing he did. You know, I think it's better than Mad Villain, honestly. Like it literally, I don't know how to break it into words. Like I was telling my little bro about this, but it's like a Sonic movie, like the whole concept of it, because like, you know, I've listened to it for years. I heard it same little couple months after I heard Mad Villain for the first time, and it didn't really click with me. I thought it was dope, but it didn't click with me. You know, I've listened to it once every year, but like this past year, December of 2021, I was just listening to it like a lot. I don't know why, and it really started to click with me. I'm not sure why. Like it just all the lyrics and the storytelling he was saying within the lines was just speaking into me. And then like I don't know, I just kept replaying Radon over and over and over. He's telling the story about him, what's going on as the Victor Vaughn persona. You know, he got stuck back in the past and he has to do all this fucking bullshit to make money and fix the flux capacitor to get back to his current time. It's this, I don't know how to put it into words. It's this incredible body of work that really inspired me. But more particularly the track Radon, as we had just said it's another day in the DUNYA. And I was like, well, after hearing it so many times, I was just like, you know, this is dope, but what does that mean? So I had to go do my research. And I believe it's Arabic for like temporal existence or temporal plane. You know, that's like the material, physical world that we live in. And I was thinking, you know, physical existence, honestly, kind of. I mean, I'm not being pessimistic or negative, but I'm like, it kind of sucks, honestly. Like, there's a lot of unfortunately bad shit that goes on that it's not controllable. We just have to make the best of things. So I'm just like, all right, let me do a project kind of inspired based on that. The idea of that, just putting all these beats together that are kind of like, kind of grimy, kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It kind of just takes you to a different atmosphere and gets some kind of crazy cover art that goes along with it too. That I had my longtime friend Steven Richards do. I went to high school with. He's an incredible artist who should take it seriously. But that's kind of how all that came together. That one song off the whole Vaudeville Villain album. But that album is an incredible body of work to this day. That's, I think, is really underrated. I think more people should check that out. It might not click, but one of those things you just have to keep revisiting and it makes sense eventually. It's a really dope project though. One of the best hip hop albums I've ever heard.
That's really interesting because, like, how should I say it? It's just like I never really I never really thought that like it would influence you in that way. You know, I completely agree that, you know, I don't think it's more so reality kind of sucks. I think it's just more so like how we as a people place our values in the system that we are in today. Like, that's just what it is. Like, everyone's materialistic. Everyone is, not everyone, but everything is more everything is more pushed to like social media, emphasized on material things. And if you don't got the cars or the bitches or the this and the that, like, you're just like a bum or something. And it's cool to shit on people for that. Oh, would you agree? I know that wasn't a question, but would you agree?
You put it in better. You put it in better words than I probably could. In terms of like this, like, I agree with you. Like, it's how we handle it as humans these days, more so than like it could be a beautiful thing, but it's how we handle it. You put it in a better way than I could, honestly. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, it's all a matter of perspective, and you know, the perspective it comes through in the art. And looking at this cover is a wild cover, bro. This reminds me of like Where the Wild Things Are meets like a Dolly painting meets like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Did you ever read those books?
Not all the way through, but I'm aware of them. Like, I've seen like stuff I remember from elementary school being more so about those books.
Yo, those.
But I know when you're talking about like the pictures. Yeah, I would totally agree.
Yeah, the art, that's what it reminds me of. Like, when I would see those books as a kid and I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, it. Yeah. It also gives me Black Bastards. It reminds me of Black Bastards. The KMD.
That's interesting you bring that up. I never even thought of that. I totally see what you mean.
Yeah, the KMD album.
I never even thought of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's dope. I think that's dope, bro. So, what, like, kind of explain to me what this art is. It's like I see on the left, it's like kind of like somebody kind of sad or some sort of thing. On the right, it's this fucking like what's his name, Snoke from Star Wars. Kind of reminds me of that, like alien type shit. And then we have like arms coming out of a door, someone peeking through the door.
Yeah, so honestly, like, he did all the art. Like, it's all original. I didn't tell him what to do. Basically, how to kind of put this in words, like, I had told him what I was doing, and I was like, yo, do you think you could, like, draw maybe, like, a concept of this and go from there? And, like, the timing didn't really work out because, like, I've had the music done for at least a couple months now, and I've been waiting on seeing what he was going to do. And then we kind of had reconvened, and we were just like, all right, you know, I was like, show me some of the art that you have done, and, like, let me kind of, like, let's compile it and curate it in a way. So these were the three that really stood out to me. The one in the middle, I don't know how to describe it. It kind of just, to me, it kind of shows like a door's open. And it's just like, thought about it like it's like that could be like the temporal plane that you're about to like go into, and like there's all this bad shit happening at the bottom that's like leaking out. I'm like, okay. And then the sad person stood out to me because I'm just like, you know what? That's kind of how a lot of people are in our existence. And then the other person, I don't know, man. That shit's crazy. He looks like, I'm like, when I got the full image, I think he's like barfing out like planets and whatnot. But I was just like, you know what? Let me just have him be like in the mix. Kind of just made sense to put in the mix. And then I kind of curated all three and placed them and added the album title and the extra quote and my logo for my name, and it kind of just came all good together. It wasn't really like something that was, I mean, I was trying to premeditate it and get it in a way that I wanted it, but honestly, I like how it ended up coming together anyways. I think it came out more dope than how I was kind of envisioning it to begin with.
That's cool. It kind of looks like a fucking scary children's book or some shit, like some boogeyman shit. The dude on the right, I didn't know he was barfing out planets. It kind of looked like he was like gonna eat them or swallow Earth, Mars. That's definitely Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn, so I appreciate that.
Word up.
But I don't want to be like, I don't want to sound like a super critique or judge, but I feel like this cover like kind of doesn't really do the music justice, man. This is the best project I've ever heard you make, and I'm not saying that because you're the homie. I'm not saying that because I want to sound whatever. Like this is like there's a lot of highs on that you hit on, like the best highs you've hit on this project, bro.
I appreciate those words, man. I mean, I've had all these beats in the works since the beginning of, not the beginning, right when like kind of the pandemic started. I started making a good chunk of these beats. Some of them made it, and then I made the rest of them maybe last year. And I would definitely say there's a lot of good stuff on here. You know, like you said, I was doing my best to kind of curate in a way that would show a lot of some of the best stuff I've done. But no, I don't look at it as like you're critiquing or whatever. Like I appreciate you checking out at all. You know, or really anyone who checks out what I do. Just do my best and wanted to keep getting better and learn.
No doubt, man. I thoroughly listened to. I don't know if all these beats are gonna end up on the album, but I listened to everything while I was doing shit just around the house and stuff. And you said something about creating an atmosphere or something. One thing that I noticed, especially with this project, you have a very atmospheric atmospheric sound that I hear, like especially like on the newer beats. So like what is that something that you consciously try to accomplish, or is that something that just happens, like you just end up, that's how your beats come out, like real atmospheric?
Man, I don't really premeditate any beat any given day. I'll just kind of create whatever I hear in the moment. So really, it's just whatever's on the fly. If it might end up that way, it might end up that way. That's not, I mean, like, that's not what I go for every day. Just kind of whatever.
I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that's really good, bro, because you could tell when producers try to create that kind of sound and it doesn't really mesh well, like either whether it's in the layers or something of that nature. I feel like a lot of, like especially with the new trap sound, they try to go for this mystical fucking, almost like vibrant type sound, and sometimes it hits, but sometimes it's a miss. But with this project, I definitely got, like, every beat has its like own world or own planet, and like I almost like feel like I'm there. Like the beats take me to fucking either like Kepler 4B or fucking Andromeda or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it just takes me somewhere else.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really did my best to have this kind of come out. Most of these beats, because I always remember like the moment when I kind of make beats, or I just like when I make, I'm like, oh, I remember that time of my life, or like that time period, because it's been over the course of 2 years. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Just do my best to get better from here. There are some good stuff on here, though. I agree with you.
Nah, man, you got more than good stuff in here, bro. You have really, like, I'm telling you, you like if anybody wanted to listen to NC, if everyone is just wanting to know, they never heard of you, they want to know, well, what's up with NC? What's so special? Listen to this when it comes out, and you're gonna see why, bro. This is a really good introduction. I feel like it has a lot of what you embody as a producer, from the layers to the atmosphere to the samples, like everything. I just feel like this is a good representation of what you have done so far.
That means a lot, man. I appreciate it. I hope more people share the same opinion that you do when they hear it. They check it out.
Yeah, that's dope. And another project that I feel like you really hit that, you nailed the atmospheric sound, is that is it Nautical Twilight? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Nautical Twilight?
Yes, sir.
That,
Yes, sir.
yeah, well, go ahead.
That's it's a term for, like, I found this out like a couple weeks ago. There's a nautical twilight is a term for like the stage of like a sunset.
Oh, so it's a sunset.
Yeah, I didn't. It's like the second stage in a sunset. I didn't know there were different stages in a sunset. I thought it was just a sunset. But like I took the cover art. I photographed the cover art maybe last year, and yeah, it's just how that came together. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to.
No, yeah, I feel like this is the best conceptual project that you've come out, from the cover to each individual beat. Like, it all, like, when I think of Nautical Twilight, when I see the cover and when I hear it, I'm like, oh, okay, like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, for me, at least in my opinion, it's the best conceptual project that you put out, and I feel like you really hit it on the nail with the hammer on it. Like, it's just a dope idea. And as far as the atmospheric setting, like, I don't want to put too much, I'm talking all this shit about the atmosphere, but like, that's just what I hear. And I feel like that's what you like really, you really got it on that project.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's because I honestly actually do appreciate that, because I feel like that's like my least favorite I've done out of all the ones I've done. Oh, not my least favorite, but it's not like the one I've been most excited about. Just one I kind of threw together. But thank you. I appreciate it. The words mean a lot.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you don't need to think about, like, when it comes to conceptual albums, people think you need to have a whole long drawn out theme, and you need to be talking about, like just for instance, if you named your album Sparta, you need every song needs to be about like a specific year, or a shield and a sword, or a fucking battle, and you know what I mean? And it gets kind of corny.
Yeah.
Like, what, like, like, I get that you were aiming for the concept, but like, what the fuck is this? Like, science class? Like, is this history? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, some of the best shit is just like in the moment, real in, like, it just puts itself together. And I feel like when you speak about that project, that's like what I get. Like, it just put itself together. Like, is that correct?
Pretty much, for the most part, yeah. I mean, something like, I was going through like art that I had that I did that I was like, and then I was going through some beats that I had that I wanted to put out, and I'm like, all right, let me just throw all this together, and it kind of just came out that way. So
That's dope, bruh. So as far as DAZE in the DUÑA, what inspired this album specifically besides Doom? Like, is there anything else that made you that you put in for this album?
yeah, say one thing, I mean, the last couple of years I've been asking my friend Steven, I was like, yo, I want to pay you to do some cover art for some music I've been doing. And we've talked about it at least once every year the last like 3 years, I feel like. And he was another thing. I was like, there's a lot of like local artists in my area that I fuck with. I think they do like a great job of what they do. And I feel like a lot of people where I'm from in Indiana, they love to act like they care about shit, but they don't really like support it, you know? So like when I see the artists putting in work out here, I'm like, yo, let me hit them up and pay them to do some work. And been trying to do that on a lot of the stuff I've been doing with the music I have, because I just think it's good to get like the community involved in what you do if you have a lot of local people around you who you think are dope. And Steven was definitely another one. Like I feel like his art kind of like, to me, reflected some of the beats on here for sure. So he was my man Steven was definitely another influence. And then maybe all the records I was listening to that I bought, I mean, all those beats are from stuff I've either recorded or from sampling records I got, or some of them I got from drum breaks from messing around at the school I go to, the audio engineering school I go to. But yeah, probably those two things, and besides the Doom Victor Vaughn reference.
That's cool. So with the school, like, do you feel like that really helped you better as an artist? Because you know, some people they want to be like, oh well, school wasn't for me, or whatever, or like they just dropped out and they'll just say fuck school. But what I find is like school really helped me like figure out, like I knew what I was doing, but school really made me really showed me, okay, like this is why I like doing this shit, or this is why I don't like doing this shit, so I'm gonna do that. So what about the school really helped you just with the sound?
I mean, it's good to learn techniques on mixing and mastering, but I'll tell you what, for the most part, I do everything still raw. So, I mean, it's good to learn that aspect. And I also feel like with school, it's good to be involved in something, like, or just like once you finish it, that you were like involved in something, you have something to like show for it. I feel like if you want to do music on a serious level, it takes more, if you really want to make it a career or a part of your life, to have that on there than just to have nothing on there. Like, I feel like it gives you a little bit more credibility than just saying I do music, because that's to me, that's like a term that's thrown around loosely. Like, some people take you serious, some people won't, but I would say that, I mean, I've learned a lot more just about like recording in general. Like before, I didn't really do a lot of that. It was just from my computer to the MP, or a year later after I first started, I was using the record player. But like, learning how to record like drums, different instruments definitely helped. I mean, I've used a lot of the drums that are from there that I helped track on my beats. I'll just take them. But yeah, I would definitely say it's important to get involved in something. It's just good to have that credibility to a degree.
Yeah, you always want to have a, because you know, as an artist, you could get stuck in a spot where you're making the same things, and it's just always good to have a fresh perspective. Plus school, I feel like you meet, at least for me, I met a lot of other different artists, and it really made me open to more perspectives other than my own, where I could be like, oh, okay, like I might not like how this dude does his music, but at least, you know, I'm in an environment where we're all making music and we all kind of share the same interests in music. So I feel like it's just good to go to school just to find out, like, either you like it or you don't. And for me, it worked for a little bit, but now I'm not in school anymore, and I'll probably definitely go back. But right now I'm just focused on doing my own thing. So I really, you know, salute you for, I didn't even really know that you went to school for audio engineering. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not on the flip coin of what you said. Like, I mean, I've definitely met people that have been down there. How do I put this without coming off as like rude? I don't like really. There's not like a lot of like-minded people around me sometimes, which is fine. Like, I'll keep doing my own thing. But it's definitely good to like meet other people, like you said, that create. It's good to be in an atmosphere where just like everyone does their own thing, and like I can respect it, but it's just like it'd be nice for like I'm from to have more like-minded people. You know, out in Central Indiana, like I would definitely like to collaborate with more like-minded people out here.
And when you
If
say
they exist.
when you say like-minded people, are you talking about like they're producers, or like what do you mean exactly that you when you say like-minded, you wish there was more, or there's not really like-minded artists around you?
You could say artists, you could say rapper, you could say producers. I mean, like really, really all that. Like I'm doing my best to see if anyone exists out here who kind of, I mean, not does exactly what I do, but has like the same respect for the game of hip hop, and you know, inspires me and I inspire them type of a thing. You know, I mean, our energies bounce off of each other. It hasn't really worked out here yet.
Oh, no doubt. Nobody, and I agree with you. I found that when I was going to school, I was the hungriest. I was the most ambitious of like all my classes and shit, and I think, that's what you should go to school for. You're either going to go there and be like, well, fuck, I'm the most artistic, or I'm the most, not even brag, just should be like everybody else is kind of like going with the flow, whereas I actually want to make the flow. Like I actually want to do something, so
you said it, bro. I feel the exact same way. Like if you're gonna do music, why wouldn't you want to be the most hungry? Like I'm not gonna be this young forever. You know, I'm gonna turn 22 this year. I'm not gonna be this young forever. Like if I want to do this shit, I want to be the most hungry in the room. You know, that's how bad I want it. I want to do the shit. And not a lot of people out here who are like that. You know, I get shit in life happens and comes up, but if you really, really are passionate about it and have huge respect for it, I feel like you should just go all in on it and do it.
Yeah, bro. I feel like there's I made up like my own thing of what makes you a successful artist. I think 33% is ambition, 33% is skill, 33% is talent, and that 1% is luck. But 33 of it gotta be ambition. Like you actually want to do this. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna make a song today. Like, no, you have to actually be like, what is the next step? How can I make this beat, this project, this one better than the last one? Like, how can I, like, constant elevation?
You hit the nail on the coffin, bro. That's perfectly said.
Fuck
I
yeah.
agree.
Nails in.
Not a lot of people look at shit like that. I mean, it's like if you look at a lot of people who are just like mainstream artists. I'm not dissing mainstream artists. A lot of people. No, I'm saying really any genre. There's artists out there who are pretty out there who are not out there, but like up in the game, who make a good amount of money off this shit. Who do the same thing over and over, and they make money on it. You know, they don't look to be at what they did before. And like to me, I mean, like it is what it is. You know, whatever. I can't knock any man or woman's hustle, but like we were just talking about, I want to be in competition with myself and just make something better than I did the last. You know, how can I take what I have right now to the next level? Like, what do I got to do instead of just be like, oh, this is gonna go like like you said, I'm gonna do a song today, whatever.
Yeah, music is something that, I mean, you don't have to take it seriously because music is music. It's your just artistic expression, but you definitely have to have an idea of what you want to do, or else you're just you're gonna be in this space like limbo, like where you're halfway in, halfway out. Like that's never really good. You kind of want to either stick with it or just drop it and fucking find fucking work at Subway or some shit. But off of that, how do you name your tracks as far as the albums go? Because I see some of your tracks, I'm like, what the fuck does this even mean? Like, what? like it, not to throw any shade or something, but just like, how do you name your tracks? Because some of this shit be funny. Like, you'll have words like undaunted or canopsia, something like that. I'm like, yo, I need a dictionary when I read, when I need when I'm reading some of these albums that you put out.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Um, that was something. So like naming tracks is when I was younger was always a struggle for me because I didn't know what to name stuff ever. Like I didn't really care. I just made it and moved on. Like I didn't really care for words. It was more just about the music. But as I've gotten older now, I see like it's important to like name stuff. So I'm like, all right, let me kind of choose some words, or like I like descriptive words or like interesting words. A couple years ago, I found this like list. I found this website that has like lists of words for emotions that you felt but could never explain. And like there's a ton of these words that like they're very like uncanny, but that's what they mean. And I'm like, wow, like I've actually felt a lot of these. So like, let me start naming some of my tracks like that. Some of them besides that, like there's like has to do with like whatever's going on the track. So for example, there's this track I got on this new project, DAZE and the DUñA, called Barfly Mickey's. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Barfly, but it's a great movie about kind of based on Charles Bukowski's life. Really good writer. His alter ego is Henry Chinaski, and Mickey Rourke plays the character. So I'm like, all right. He said this quote in the movie, well, everybody's got to do something, everybody's got to be something. Then he goes on this like weird drunk rant that kind of is all over the place but makes sense. And I'm like, all right, I like the idea of that. Like it's very like profound, but like I get where he's going with it. So I'm like, all right, let me name the track Barfly and then like Mickey's. Like I was thinking Mickey's, the malt liquor beer, and like Mickey as in like Mickey Rourke, and I just kind of threw it together.
Oh wow. You see, I probably would have caught that if I was drinking still. I probably would have had a Mickey right here with me. That's crazy. I used to drink Mickey's, the 40 ounces all the time. But you said Bukowski, the movie Barfly, it influenced the track. And we've spoken about Bukowski before. What about his work inspires your music?
So I like his attitude, how he does it. It's just like he can't explain how he does it. I feel the same way, and he moves on. He just creates all the time, and some stuff comes out, and some stuff might not. And I don't know. He wasn't. What I really like about him is he's one of those writers, or not even really writers. You could say just as like an artist, I guess too, in my opinion. He's not one of those pretentious people who like are all into themselves. He was like more about like doing the work, and like whatever came out of the work is fruits of his labor. I feel the same way. Really, a lot of his writing and a lot of his like his like he's a drunk. Like I get it. He died of alcoholism. I don't live my life like that, but like a lot of the stuff he says is profound and like it's out there, and it's kind of harsh, but like it makes sense. Like I get what he means, and he kind of inspires me from. I feel a lot of the same things he does. But I'm not an addict.
No, yeah, that's cool. But tell about like what like just his writing in general. It like you feel like his work inspires you, but like what specifically, like is it just his writing style or the stories he tells, or is it just everything?
I think it's his ability to like. He's able to write in a way where most writers they'll set up the whole chapter, right, and there'll be the big payoff in the end, and it was kind of lousy. Like he's one of those people. He's one of those writers where like every line is interesting. Like you don't get bored to like read his stuff, and like I get inspired from that to try and do that with the music to the best of my abilities as well.
That's crazy, bruh. Not many artists are influenced by authors. I mean, I know what's crazy is a lot of, and I think that just comes from maybe like a literary standpoint, or just being creative, like, because as creatives, we're all influenced by each other in some aspect. So I hear a lot of artists that they're inspired by books and shit like that. But you being influenced by Bukowski, I've heard his work. Like John Wayne is influenced by him, and I think it's crazy because I'm influenced by like Stephen King, even though like I've read like a little bit of it, the book, but his whole like that dark, like if I wasn't a rapper, I think I would make shit like that where it's just like real dark shit and like horror or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just interesting how authors inspire producers or just singers and shit like that, because we're writers too. We're just not, writing. We're fucking, or I'm writing, but like others like yourself, producers, you're writing with the beats, like the chapters. Each chapter is a sound or a certain layer in the beat.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it, yeah.
So
yeah, man, I think go ahead, I apologize, go ahead.
No, yeah. This is your interview. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you talk. Sometimes I've noticed that I cut people off and shit, and I don't like doing that. So go. Well, what were you gonna say?
No, not at all. I just like having a respectful conversation. I feel the same way. I don't like to interrupt anybody either. I was just gonna say no. I think it's cool to be inspired from like other people who do what you do, just like in their own way. But like I like to be more. It's good to be inspired by different avenues, like people who write books, people who make movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be inspired from different outlets of art.
Yeah, man. I forgot. I don't know if Paul Mooney said this, but it was like to entertain somebody, you need to be entertained or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. Especially when you have writer's block or something, you definitely gotta put it down and just watch a movie or read a book or something.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff out there that's like really great, like books that I've read or really great movies that I've seen that, kind of stuff gets swept under the rug, and I feel like more people should see that shit, but there's a lot of ways to get inspired. You got to look in the right places.
Yeah, sometimes it just comes to you though. It's just like inspiration isn't like Disneyland where you're gonna show up and be in the happiest place on earth or something. It's kind of like it pops out on you, and other times it's like what to look for or to be inspired. I don't know. Every time I watch the Dark Knight, I just feel like I'm not even inspired. It's just like, wow, like this is just really good artistry. And then I feel like subconsciously I try to kind of almost compete with that in my own way, or like it just serves like a some sort of inspiration to get me to do what I do.
Yeah, it's that spark. I know exactly what you mean. I get the same feeling from watching that, man.
Yeah, I love that scene I was just watching it on YouTube, the scene where they robbed a bank in the beginning, and the dude, he pulls out the little shotgun and he's like he says something, "Do you have any idea something?" He's like, "You and your friends are dead." I'm like, "Oh shit, I got to sample that." I'm totally sampling that.
Yeah.
And then the little Joker's henchman, he's like, "He's out, right?" And he thinks about it and he nods his head and he gets up and he gets hit. I'm like, how do you get hit with a shotgun shell and you get up like if you just got like grazed or something? Like, what the fuck? So I don't know.
That guy should have lost his arm.
Yeah, right? Like if you get hit in the shoulder, especially with a slug, bruh, your arm's coming off, bruh. Like unless that fool had bird shot, which are just pellets. It's like, bruh, if you have a shotgun, which is totally unrealistic, in a bank, you're gonna have slugs in that shit, which is just a single piece of metal when it hits you, your head's gonna blow up and shit from a certain, especially like that range. Where, well, anyway, yeah. The Dark Knight is just a good movie. If you've never seen that movie, you're really just wasting life away with whatever the fuck it is you're not paying attention to.
Yeah, dude. Even though it's a superhero movie, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
I don't even think it's a superhero movie. I think it's just a fucking super dope movie. Like, I know, like, when you think of superhero movie, you're thinking of motherfuckers in tights and Shazam and, you know, and fucking, like, the Marvel movies are just cranking them out like McDonald's cheeseburgers and shit. And I don't even really, I don't even like this shit. I'm like, oh, here we go. Another fucking Marvel movie where it's the fucking... The hero kicks ass in the beginning, gets his ass beat, and then he wins in the end. And that's every movie, bro. A new villain.
Dies. Yep, and the villain dies.
And then yeah, everyone wins in the end. Everyone fucking high fives, jumps up and down. Everyone's rubbing bellies with each other. Like, what the fuck? Like, this ain't even like. But yeah, that's just good cinema, like the new Batman movie. How did you feel about? Did you see that movie? That movie's crazy.
I'm lacking, dog. We'll have to have a conversation about that in the future. I never had the chance to see it in theaters. However, I wish I did. I just didn't have the time to see it, but I know it's coming on HBO Max eventually. I'll probably catch it in the next couple of weeks, and I would like to see it. We'll see. I'll be honest with you. I fuck with Robert Pattinson, right? I don't see him as a Bruce Wayne or a Batman, not even a young one. I think he'd be, if they did Batman Beyond, he would be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll see it for myself. I'm not hating, I can't hate until I see it, So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't know. Ever since I heard he was going to be Batman, Bruce Wayne, I was like, it didn't sit well with me. I'm like, I can't see it. But I'm hoping he'll prove me wrong, right? I've heard it's a different take on Batman, and I think that's good. I think nothing should be like its predecessor. We'll see. I'm gonna keep an open mind. I'm looking forward to it.
Bro, I ain't gonna say no spoilers, but bro, this is probably like, it rivals The Dark Knight, like from beginning to end, just how it's shot, how everything it strings along. And it's a dark movie, bro. Like, if people are like, when you think of the Batman, you think of ping, pow, boom, and batarangs and Robin and cheesy shit. No, bro. This says, fuck everything you knew about the Batman. This is the darkest. I love that movie. How I would describe it, The Dark Knight is more of like it has more of like a comic book, like sticking to what the comics would have been as a movie. But the new Batman movie kind of makes it more realistic to where, like, oh shit, like if superheroes and shit were real, or if this shit was real, like this is what it would be. And I totally agree with you with like, I was like, Robert Pattinson, even in like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm not buying it. By the end, I'm like, wow, like this fool killed that shit.
I'll keep open mind. Like, I'm not going to hate, I think he's a great actor. Like, he was great in The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe. But I'll have to see it. I'll let you know. I never sat well with me. I don't know why.
Yeah, when you think of, which is crazy, because when you think of Batman, I remember when they announced Pattinson and Ben Affleck, and I'm like, why'd they even do that? Like, Pattinson, like the fool from Twilight, like, this fool ain't gonna do, like, he ain't gonna do that shit justice. They're probably gonna get him the fuck out of here and make, what's his name, who plays Deadpool? Is it Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they're probably gonna have this fool as the Batman or something, but it's weird because I feel like Ben Affleck did like a pretty shitty job compared.
Damn, you think so? Damn.
I don't, not that he did a shitty job, but it was kind of like, I don't know, like I feel like he did okay, but I don't really feel like he brought anything new to like the table. Like, I feel like he kind of chased the tails of what's his name, Nolan's Batman. Is that the director or is that the actor? Who's the from the Dark Knight?
Christopher Nolan's the director.
Okay, yeah, the whoever the dude who played the Batman in the Dark Knight, I feel like Ben Affleck more so did his acting shit towards that side where he's like kind of like this recluse. He's more of a playboy in the Dark Knight, whereas in the Batman versus Superman movie, he's more like serious and shit. But I still didn't feel like Affleck did the character justice. Whereas Pattinson, it's really like his beginning years as Batman. Like you could see it, like oh shit, like he's a very young man, and he's barely figuring out how to attack the crime in Gotham. It's just a dope movie, man. I don't want to make this the fucking the Batman fucking promotion, the Batman ad for the shit, but you know,
No, you're cool, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know, I'm gonna keep an open mind.
but yeah,
I'm gonna do my best. You know?
yeah, that really inspires me because I really like dark shit. Like I'm really attracted to like psychologically, like what makes some shit, like what makes things, like what makes the bomb tick, like what makes the oceans move and all that shit like that. Like I just really like the undertones of certain things. But as far as this project, the DAZE in the DUNYA, what samples were you looking for?
It's a good question. Stuff with, I mean, like, I definitely, so a lot of these beats didn't start out with the idea of going on the project. I had a lot of these beats in the works, and then the project kind of put itself together within, like, the last year or so. But a lot of stuff I was probably sampling is, like, a lot of music with darker tones. A lot of just, like, electronic synth records I sampled along here. Along with kind of some stuff, there's a few records from different countries that kind of seemed like they would fit on here, but a lot of stuff with just like darker tones, I would say.
So there wasn't anything like specifically like, oh, or was it just like the synth records that really brought this album to life?
A good chunk of the synth records I was sampling brought it to life, but like there's a mix of stuff in here, you know, there's some darker jazz tones on here. There's some darker. One track I sampled, it's called "Plotting the Next Move." On that track, it was like this. It was this Italian record, but like it was like folk, but like I don't know how to describe it. It was like folk, but not folk. That shit was just kind of hard, and it put itself together on there. And like, there's like another record I sample on here that's from Japan. So there's a bulk of ideas in here, but I would definitely say it started off with like a lot of the synth records I sampled.
Okay, I find that very interesting, man. When I listen to it, it does sound like a mixture of all kinds of. It's like a gumbo of samples from different genres that I really like. What kind of beats make this album? Like what beats? How should I say it? Like what kind of beats were you looking for when you were making this?
It's a good question. You're making me think about this real quick. Well, there were a couple things. The main thing was I wanted to show a variety of like different ways I've made beats. In terms of like the drums or like the sequencing and programming, or just how I might have chopped the loop into my own kind of different loop in its own way. I was just looking for a lot of stuff that kind of stood out in its own way that I made to kind of curate and portray the project I had going on with this in the same light.
Okay, so it wasn't really like you were looking for like I don't know a boom bap or a trap beat. Like these were, it was kind of like you know, you were looking for something specific in each beat. Is that right?
Yeah, like a lot of I did. There's only a handful of them where like I might have not done there were no drums on it, but like a lot of them I really wanted to show. I've been doing drums on different beats throughout. Like it wasn't just like the same shit. Like I'm not dissing other producers out there. Like I hear like a lot of people use like the same sounds, and that's people should. But like, how can you like manipulate it in different ways? Like I was looking for a lot of stuff that I did where it's just like not the same drums as maybe like the next, so it could kind of like be different throughout the whole. How many tracks is on there? 17 tracks to kind of portray the project I wanted to illustrate sonically.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You know, is definitely this isn't an album where it's like, you know, it's very layered. So it's a lot of unpack in this album. So I really salute you for that. Like it's a very dense project. Even if you don't like it, like just listening to it, you'll be like, you know, I don't know if there's more than like a few samples on like each beat, but like some of them beats I hear, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of shit going on in this beat. Like, damn, like this is like, you know, cause you'll hear a producer's beat that has too much shit in it, and you'll be like, what the fuck is, like, it just sounds like you just threw shit at the wall hoping you were gonna make a painting. Like it, you know, like every sound, every sample, everything kind of like it goes together smooth. It's like every every track in the beat is a stem. Like, you know what a stem is?
In terms of music, or
Yeah, like as far as like the sound.
yeah, like there's
Like you could play it at a stem at any point with another stem and it'll all be together. You get what I mean?
thank you, man. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Like
I mean, there's a lot of like and as I've been getting like older and learning more, just like I've been wanting to get better every year. I want to shout out my guy Carson Ulmer, like the only really guy around in my town who I feel like is a like-minded individual. He kind of taught me to do more stuff with like layers, and I feel like a lot of the beats I've been doing in the last like year and a half that I want to come out have a lot more like layers. It's not just like one basic like thing all around. Like from beginning to end, I want it to be interesting. I want to like you really taught me how to put layers in there that will make it interesting enough that people will listen to it for at least like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and that's kind of what I wanted to get better at in terms of like layering. Now that you bring it up,
that's dope. That's dope. If one track represented this project, which one would it be?
oh, that's tough. That's a good question. Let me look at the track list. I gotta think about this. That's a really good question.
You got 17 of them, so you're
Jeez.
yeah, you got a
I
lot
don't
of
know
them
how
to pick.
I don't know if I can answer that. I think all of them kind of just speak for themselves as the whole idea I was going for as a whole. I don't know. That's a really good question. You got me stumped. I don't know. Maybe. Damn, you got me thinking about this. Maybe the fifth track. Maybe Canopsia. Maybe that one.
Oh, okay. All right, Canopsia. That's how you pronounce it.
That's how I think you pronounce it.
Okay, all right. Canopsia. I think that's how
I
you
could be
pronounce
totally
it.
wrong.
Yeah. Canopsia. I said Canopia and shit when I tried to
I
first
think you could
pronounce it.
pronounce that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's, when you go to other countries, they say it all fucked up anyway, so it's really anyone's interpretation at this point. Could I like play one of these beats at the end of the episode of the podcast?
Yeah, please do. You don't even have to ask it. Absolutely.
Oh, I definitely have to ask. I'm not gonna fucking put one of the beats on, like, take one of them and be like, whatever. It's all, to me, it's all a matter of respect. So,
I feel you.
I think there's 4 tracks, and I'm gonna break down why I like these 4 tracks. The first one, Lacking, I feel is the best track. It's the first track. I feel like this one best represents the whole project. It just takes you there. Like, whatever the DUñA is, like, I feel like that track, it takes you there. When I think of like the DUñA, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be, the temporal plane, that's like where it takes me. Like, it just takes me there, and it's just a great start to the album. It's my favorite beat.
Thank you, man. That was for the drums I did on that one. That's the shit I like, drum breaks I got from tracking people at my engineering school. But I like, it's just kind of, I get what you mean when you say it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to listen to it. You definitely, for all you listeners out there, go listen to the project first, then come back and you'll be like, oh, okay, I get what they were talking about. Because I listened to this a few times and I'm like, yeah, this is it. This one's smacking the most for me, the first one. Then we have the second one, Undaunted. This is another good track I like. It has just good layers. I think this is just best represents, like, as far as like the layering, it's the best layered beat on the whole project.
Thank you, man.
Is there anything anything specific about it?
It was a record I got recently. Not like it was a record I got recently, like towards the end of last year, and like I think it's the best record I own personally.
Wow.
Like, I got it, and the weird thing is I didn't get it at like a normal record store. Like, around here, they have these at like the fashion mall. They have these, like, I don't know, these trendy girl stores that like my girl brought me to. That's just like, they sell like vintage clothing, but they also sell records. So while she was like trying on shit, I was like going through the records, and like I was shocked that they actually had, like, they probably had better records than I get in actual record stores sometimes, and not at a terrible price, because they buy people's private collections around in the Midwest. So
Wow.
like that's where I got that sample from, and I played some additional stuff on top of that, but like the main guitar thing that you hear on that track is where I got that from.
That's dope, man. Yeah, this is a really good, like I said, man, this is your best beat album. This is if they didn't know who NC is, they're gonna know who the fuck NC is after this shit, bro. I'm telling you, like, this is, number 6, Reloaded. That one I feel like is a fucking straight up movie soundtrack, bro. It could be on Venom fucking 3 and shit. Like, I don't know, like, it's like you could really make like soundtrack beats, bro. Like, Pusha T, you gotta hit NC up, bro. Like, y'all could make the next shit, bro.
Damn, man, I appreciate your words saying that, man. For real, honestly, because I don't be looking at. I mean, I do my best to do my thing, but I don't be really thinking about it all too much of it like that. But thank you, man. That gives me the energy boost I need to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, bro. When I listen to that track, I'm like, oh, I see a movie. Like, there's a movie. Just pick a movie, and like this will go with it. Like, whatever you find that fits with it. Like this, like Reloaded fits with a movie somewhere out there. just because, especially like I was watching the Dark Knight clips and shit like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, this is really good, man. You guys, like I said, man, you got really good highs up here. Number 11. Let me see, what is it? Yeah, I don't know. It's just right now on the file. It just says beat 3734, and you making almost 1,000 beats over here. I'm like, damn, bro, that's a lot. That's
yeah,
a lot.
I should have sent you the my Bandcamp, the private Bandcamp link I have, because the rest of them I just threw them in the Google Drive to like listen to. I forgot to name them. Like I named them in Bandcamp. You said track 11. Track 11 was called Love and Hate Answers, and that record, that it's probably the rarest 45 I've ever encountered. It's from a rare soul group from Indianapolis, and it's the only recording that exists.
Like it's the only record.
45 that exists. It's the only 45 that exists.
Wow, that's crazy, bruh. You know what's crazy that you say that? To me, it sounds like a oldie, but like a newbie. Like it's really old. Like it sounds like it has like a really. Cause I never really heard you flip like a soul sample like that. So, but you make it to where like it sounds fire. Like it's a fire beat, bro. Like and it has what I love most, which is like old school. Like what year is that record? Cause it sounds like a oldie, like an old soul sample.
67.
There it is. Yep. That's like I would say like anywhere from like 63 to like I'll say like about 75. Though all those like funk, soul, R&B records are like my favorite, especially the 45s, bro. Because people, if you dig in and you know what's up, 45s is like have like some of the best shit like you could ever dig for.
It's the only 45 I own.
Oh man, I have a whole shitload of 45. 45 is my thing, man. I know there's a 45 king, but I'm the fucking 45 half bar loop king in this bitch, bruh.
Dog, I be trying to get more into like not sampling, but like buying 45 records, and like I just could never get like a selection of 45s that like I liked ever. And like I told you, it was at that what's it called? That trendy girl like vintage girl clothing store that also sold records, and they had a selection of 45s. And I pulled it up, right? And I was like, I've never seen this before. So I was like trying to look it up on YouTube, not on YouTube. I tried to look it up on Discogs. It wasn't on Discogs. And then like the owner was there, and he was just like, he was telling me, I was just like, yeah, I'm positive this is like the only 45 exists of that song. Because like he's the guy who owns like, they have like a chain around here. And like the malls they have in Indiana, and he was telling me, it's just like, yeah, like he buys all the records, when it comes to like the rare stuff, and you're just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's the only copy that exists. And I just bought it and I played it, and like it was okay, and I was like, okay. And then like that one main part you hear in that song that just threw me off. Like it was like a nice sunny day beginning of the song, and then that shit just kind of flipped, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this, man? This is crazy. Blew my fucking mind.
That's dope, man. I love shit like that where it's just rare. You're the only one that got it and you flipped it, man. So hopefully one day you could own that record and shit, and whoever made that recording, they could eat off it, you could eat off it, and it takes off and becomes a life of its own, bro, because it's a dope record.
Yeah, I was thinking about like going around Indianapolis and figuring out who like I know the group, but like if they even like, because it's the only recording that exists, so I don't even know if they own the rights to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, if they made it and they published it, you could definitely find it. But if they never published it, then you could actually be the one who publishes it first for them, and you could work out whatever,
true. Yeah, because like they're not on Discogs, and like everything is on. Like I look up most of the records I get sometimes on Discogs and just see where stuff's at, and like I can't find these people. It makes me feel like I might have the master recording, and that kind of scares me.
Yeah, man, you definitely got to figure out what you got to do, bro, because that's a dope record, man, and you should definitely own it, publish it, because it's a dope track. Fuck all this free shit or whatever. Fuck Bandcamp too. Not a shit on the Bandcamp release, but I just feel like there's just a better way. Bandcamp is old at this point, bro. Like Bandcamp was cool like 10 years ago, bro, or something like that. Like it was a cool new thing, but we definitely gotta own our shit. And I definitely want you to own that record, bro, and eat off of it, because it's a dope record, man. And especially that is from your part, your way, from your way and shit like that, and that's your people's and shit, bro. Definitely get up on that.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated about that, what I find out about it. Like, I hope, like, I haven't gone to where I go to school and ask, because that might be another good place to start. But like, I got to figure out who to get in touch with about it. I mean, if they recorded it in Indianapolis like 60 years ago, someone has to know. Somebody.
Yeah. Since we're talking about it, that's the song I'm gonna play at the end of the podcast. Everybody stick around. All the listeners, I'm gonna play. What did you say the track was called?
Love and Hate Answers.
Is that like in parentheses or something?
LOVN, hate, HATE, and then Answers was in parentheses.
Answers. All right, yeah, I'm definitely gonna play it. Everybody stick around, hear it. It's a dope beat, man. I want y'all to get familiar with Indiana's own NC. Is there anything that you want to say about this project before we close it out?
To anybody listens, I appreciate it. Share it with somebody who might like some of it too, and keep looking out what I got the rest of the year. I got some other things planned. Me and Serbs have been talking about some things. I got some things I'm gonna send to you later today. We can go over at a different date. I got some beats I want to send you that I've been working on. That see what you think. And 2022, we're gonna keep it moving, keep it busy, keep putting stuff out.
For sure, yo. There's beats that I like from this one and the previous releases that you have that I really like too. That we'll see if we could make something out of that too. But yeah, yo, that's cool, man. You was gone for a little minute. Like you didn't really have, you kind of went on this hiatus and shit. So it's really dope to see that, you're getting it in gear, man. I find some artists, they hit a peak and then they kind of fizzle away. But it's kind of like you hit this peak, went on a little, not a decline, but just kind of like hiatus, and now like you're back, you're hitting them hard. Like this shit is hard, bro. Like this is the best shit you ever made, and not too many artists, they come back and this shit is better than it was before. You know what I mean?
Thank you, dog. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I just I had to step away and like learn how to live, learn how I want to do my music in a way that makes sense. And I'm still learning, But like right now, I feel like I'm getting it going, and I don't want to slow down. Just want to keep the same positive energy and spread that same energy to others.
That's dope, bro. I really like that, bro. I'm really proud of the work that you've done so far, man, because this shit ain't easy, bro. This music shit, it's all fun and games and shit, but at the end of the day, man, this shit is work. We're really out here trying to do something special for y'all. So I'm just, I salute you for hanging on and sticking with it and sticking with me, bro. Because a lot of people, I feel like they took Big Serbs for granted. They taking the whole shit for fucking I don't know what. But just thank you, man, for always coming through with the beats and always coming through with the projects.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I thank you for having me on here. I always appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk. I appreciate your energy as well, man.
For sure. We gonna wrap this up then, bro. I appreciate your time as always. we'll have you on again soon. We'll talk about it. And yeah, man, that's all I have for you, man. I wanted to make it short, even though it's already like an hour and a half, but we here, bruh.
Hey, man, I appreciate the opportunity always, man. You have a good rest of your day, all right? Be safe.
For sure, my G. You have a great one as well, bro. I'm gonna talk to you soon.
Peace, bro.
All right, then. Peace. And there you have it. The very special interview. You know, y'all don't even know what y'all about to listen to, about to witness. This project is some shit, bro. It's really special. So, DAZE in the DUÑA, NC, produced by your boy Big Serbs. We checking out, bro. This is the God's Hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now.
While the angels fly over my headstone.